Okay, next speaker is Dr. Liu Qiang, Director of Energy Economics Division, the Institute of Quantitative and Technical Economics at the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences. And you are right here. Very good.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming. My name is Liu Qiang. I come from China, the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences. The institute's name is maybe bizarre. The meaning is for quantitative economics is maybe focusing on economic modeling, and technical economics is more focused on the assessment of the mega projects. So it's so related with the infrastructure. Yes, the slides work well, but maybe the slides always remind me to come back from my ideas. So, One Belt One Road is proposed by President Xi Jinping in 2013. So why One Belt One Road? Maybe there are many comments on One Belt One Road, but I think I need to explain my views. One Belt One Road is a natural result of the Chinese economic development. Maybe 30 years ago, Chinese economy is very poor. I remember that maybe in my age of 12, when I moved from a small village to a small town, but this small town has a railway line past by the town. The first day I arrived at the town, my father took me to the railway station just for the purpose to have a sight of the train. That's the first time I saw a train. So, but 30 years after, I can come here very often. So this is a big change in China. With this very fast the economic growth is a very important phenomenon in the global economy. China is not a small country. It's a country with a population more than 1 billion, about 1.4 billion population. So this very recent economy, if it's the first time in the human history that a big country transforming from a poor country to a rich country, it has a big impact to the whole system, the whole economic system of the world. It has a capacity to overflow its economic influence. This is the background of the One Belt One Road. We have enough capability to invest abroad and to transfer our experience to the whole world, and also our lessons. Maybe you know many lessons of China, such as the poisonous smogs, and maybe some phenomena of maybe inequality. We have a very high Gini coefficient. That means the inequality in China may be serious. So for One Belt One Road, what's the meaning and what's the target for One Belt One Road? I think the first is to find to make a bigger market. I just mentioned the economic growth in the past 30 years is very fast. And we have accumulated a huge capacity of industrial productions and maybe the capacity to build and construction. Chinese always are experts on construction. So a bigger market is very important to China and to the whole world. And the second target, I think, is to make a good neighborhood, a better environment for China to have more growth. So, in this background, and I think the One Belt One Road is not only the affairs of China; it's an important affair to the whole world, because this initiative connected China with nearly all of the countries in the world, especially in the Euro-Asia continent. We can have a common development, not only the single development of one country, but a common development of nearly more than half of the population of the world. With this common development, we can contribute more to eradicate the soils and even the roots of the extremism. We can have more communications. We can have a big market together. So how to get these visions? According to the experience of China, we set the infrastructure as and connectivity, the means for connectivity. We can have more infrastructure to connect us together and make a bigger market. So in this big market, we can have more freedom and a more stable environment for the whole world. So in this background, I think we can, this is some introduction of my academy and institutes. I just mentioned the slides always call me back. So I prefer another title of me. This is the Global Forum on Energy Security. It is co-hosted by our academy and CEFC and American Energy Security Council and another think tank based at Washington, D.C. The Institute for the Analysis on Global Security. So this forum is a global one, not a Chinese one. In the past conferences, we invited so many speakers from all over the world, including Dr. He of CEFC, and from UN, the Undersecretary General of UN, and the IA Director of IA, and the former Secretary of Energy of Russia. And so come back to One Belt One Road. The One Belt One Road can have 6 economic corridors. The first is maybe the Euro-Asia land bridge corridors, and China, Mongolia, Russia corridors, China, Central Asia, West Asia economic corridors, and China, Pakistan corridors, the CEPA, and China, Myanmar, Burma, Myanmar, Bangladesh, and India economic corridors, and China, Indochina Peninsula corridors, and the One Road, the coastline to India and Africa. So this is a very big initiative. You may know the importance of it. It's the most important meaning is to connect this world together and eradicate the gap of development, especially in the troubling regions such as the Middle East, Central Asia, and some other areas. This is maybe the cross of the One Belt One Road, the Central Asia is north to south is from Central Asia to South Asia, and east to west is from China to West Asia and even to Europe. We already have some pilot projects, mainly from China side, but I just mentioned that we just started the overflow of the economic influence from China. We need find more market to invest and find more business. So I just prepared a report for the United Nations, their branch, the Economic and Social Councils of Asia and the Pacific. I'd like to introduce some of projects, advanced projects I proposed to them. I think this project may be the second stage of the One Belt One Road to invest and to develop. The first is Super Asia grid projects, especially cover the Northeast Asia countries. It will include China, Mongolia, Far East of Russia, and North Korea and South Korea, and in the future, Japan. The background of this project is that the super, maybe the actual capacity of the power generation in China. You know, at the first of the One Belt One Road, most of the people, including Chinese people, think it's a chance for China to import, to make a reliable supply of resources and energy resources. You know, before maybe 2014, China imported more and more resources and energy from all over the world. The growth rate of energy demand in China is very fast. But after that, we have established a very big power generation capacity. After 2014, the demand for power generation began to drop. So we have a surplus of the capacity. This is the base to export the power generation to our neighbor countries and neighbor regions. In Mongolia, they lack the power supply, no enough the energy access. And the far east of Russia, they also have a ambitious plan to set up more economic zones, but they don't have enough power to support the industrial demand. And in the South Korea, the Republic of Korea, they have a big plan to substitute their nuclear power. I don't think they have the enough environment to set up maybe new coal-based power plants. This is the same case to Japan. After Fukushima disaster in 2012, they also have a plan to substitute their nuclear power. So it's a good chance for in the framework of One Belt One Road to export Chinese power to our neighbors. And this is a win-win business. We have a good utilization of the capacity, and our neighbors can substitute their nuclear power and have more access to electricity. So I suggest that these projects to both Chinese government and UN ISCAP and our neighbors. And this is the second project focused on the natural gas. The natural gas is very important for China right now because I just mentioned the very serious smog. If you have some experience to stay in China in maybe November or December, you will find you are in a very strange environment. You can see nothing, maybe only your head. Maybe some experts or someone argue that maybe, in Los Angeles and London, they also might serious smog, but that is because of very special geographic settings. But in China, it's a big areas. More than 1/3 of China have this serious smog. That is not because of geographic features. That's because of the dirty energy. So we have a big plan to substitute the coal-based the power plants by natural gas. Natural gas is cleaner than coal-fired plants. And in this area, we have the biggest market, the potential markets of natural gas. In this area of China, we have about 200 million population, nearly the whole population of America. Is a big. It will be a big, very big market for natural gas. Only in the field of power generation is also a big market and very convenient to substitute. And it also have good conditions for a market, for a hub of natural gas. We have the pipelines from Russia of natural gas, and we also have the pipelines from Central Asia, the Turkmenistan and Kazakhstan's natural gas pipeline to Beijing. And we also have the domestic natural gas production from northeast provinces of China. We also have the LNG, the liquid natural gas, from other countries such as Australia and Qatar. Even we can buy natural gas, the LNG from America, the shale gas. So with these conditions, we have a good conditions of a new hub, a new market for Far East Asia, not only East China. We can have an international market at this location, at the harbor of Tianjin or Tangshan City is a very good harbor and very close to this market, just beside Beijing, only about 100 kilometers. And the third project I proposed is Greater Central Asia, including the 5 countries of Central Asia and 3 other countries, the Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Iran. This is not a new initiative, but it has a good basis. You know, the World Bank and the United Nations have projects to link Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan's the hydropower resources and to the market of Afghanistan and Pakistan. This is a great power grid project. I just proposed to link the grid in China and Kazakhstan and Turkmenistan and Iran together to link the grid already existed grid together. This can utilize the surplus of Chinese power generation and to link it to a big market. This idea, just like I mentioned before, to make a big market in the troubling regions, the Central Asia and the Middle East. We can also link the pipeline of natural gas together in its area and make a better development in Pakistan and Afghanistan, and links the market of Iran and Pakistan together. This is, I think, will have a very big benefit to the world, to the peace of the world. This is also another project I suggested to UN ISCAP. This about the railway connectivities. The first is to link the Quetta city of Pakistan in her Balochistan regions, the tribe regions, and link this city to Kandahar, the western city in Afghanistan, and then north to the city of Murray in Turkmenistan. Murray is a very famous historical scenic city in Turkmenistan, has a long history. It's a historical city to link Western civilization to Chinese civilization. It's a very important spot in history. So this railway will give us a very beautiful scenic route for tourists and more development for the chance to these regions. Not long distance, only about 700 or 800 kilometers from Quetta to Murray, but it is very important to this region. Better development in Afghanistan and the tribe regions in Pakistan is very important. You know, this is a soil for Taliban and some other extremist activities. So the better the improvement of the development is very useful and helpful to our world. The second railway line is from the Karachi to Iran and pass by the harbor city of Gwadar. Chinese has established the harbor. The equipment has already there. This is a new harbor, but this harbor is only maybe in a desert, just like that. No other economic activities around there. It must have a good connection with other cities like Karachi and maybe a bigger market in Iran. It can be a successful project. So the other project I suggested is for the cooperation between China and the Indochina Peninsula countries. I learned that by the Bangladesh speakers that they also have some plans in these areas. Maybe it was proposed by ADB, the Asian Development Bank, and supported by China from west to east, corridor from west to east. But the difference of this, of my suggestion is from north to south. You know, from north to south, there are already corridors along the important rivers in these regions. in Indochina Peninsula is the Mekong River. We already have a Greater Mekong River regions proposed by United Nations. It was supported by many international organizations and America to form a big market in this area, including the Laos, Vietnam, Cambodia, and Thailand. This corridor has good conditions of the transportation, not only the railway, but also the river transportation lines. China and Laos and Thailand are discussing to to establish a new high-speed railway to link Kunming City, the capital of Yunnan province of China, with the capital of Laos and the capital of Thailand together. In future, these railways can enlarge to Malaysia and Singapore. So this natural development of these areas. And the second corridor is another important river in Burma, in Myanmar. It's also north to south. And the lagoon is very important in this area, and it is also the harbor of the sea and the river. So China also has extra capability of power generation in the neighbor provinces. It can also link the grid transmission lines together in both China and the peninsula. It provides convenience to export electricity from China to these countries. So it's not a difficult project. It's easy to fulfill, and it's a win-win project for all participant countries. I think maybe for the time limiting, I can stop here. The other slides is focused on how to financing the projects. I don't think the financing is a big problem because the money, in fact, the money is the simplest tools to assessment all the projects and promote the cooperation. If you can make the projects have a good expectation of return, it's easy. Accompanying with the development in China, we have enough capital to invest. The issues, the problem is, if you invest this money into the market of real estate or invest in the mega projects of one by one road. So the key issue will be the risks, how to avoid the risk, including the political risks, business risks, and maybe geographic risks and resources risks. That will be very maybe detailed and professional, but I think that will be not the big problems. Maybe the political risk is the biggest one. That's not depending on if China want to invest, but will depending on the host countries. If they have a good regulation and the management of the money, and if they have the incentive to break the agreement. But that happens many times. So how to avoid these risks? Maybe the biggest issues of one by one road. I suggest we can have a better partnership for this investment. We can have a a better structure to include all the stakeholders inside the structure. That will include maybe the local community and local companies and local financial institutions, and more than that is maybe the regional and the central government of the host countries, and of course maybe investment from China and from America, from all over the world, the foreigner investment. This structure will make the investment have more safety. The safe is the most important. So I stop here. I think we can have more discussion in later sessions. Thank you for your attention.